Mr. Chairman, are you with us?
I am, yes.
Okay, the meeting is recording. The time is now 4:30, and it appears that we do have a quorum. Commissioner Feinstein's on the call as well.
Very good, thank you. Here we go. I hereby call to order this meeting, the special meeting, of the Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Today is Thursday, March 6th, 2025, and the time is 4:30 p.m. Item A is our call to order, our roll call. With those commissioners in attendance, please identify themselves and state as to whether they're here in person, via telephone, or via Google Meet.
This is Eric Feinstein. I'm here via Google Meets.
And I am Scott Fletcher. I'm here via telephone. Item B is our old business. B1 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-222A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2-C609, the new application submitted by Mr. Brian Crenshaw on behalf of the World Kickboxing Association, the WKA, for a 2025 amateur sanctioning organization registration. This application was previously reviewed by the commission, and registration was granted for the sanctioning of amateur kickboxing contests on February 19th, 2025. The same application, which included amateur Muay Thai contests, is now appearing before the commission for registration to sanction amateur Muay Thai contests pursuant to AAC R19-2-C609 D and E. The commission may vote to go into executive session for the purpose of obtaining legal advice from its attorney on this matter. Mr. Vella, will you speak to Mr. Crenshaw's application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. As previously indicated in the last meeting, the financial investigator found that there was nothing that rose to a level of concern and that the organization is financially stable. As you may recall, we had tabled this item because it wasn't clear in the last agenda that they were applying to sanction Muay Thai as well, and therefore we wanted to give the opportunity to make it more clear. And if you recall, when we had a situation where Sanda, the organization with Sanda, the promoters were not happy with the single organization that we had running it at the time, and so we had granted another organization the opportunity to sanction it as well. So I think it is good for the industry if there's more than one sanctioning body. It allows for more opportunities to participate and to hold these types of events, and therefore I do recommend we grant its approval. Of course, if the commission wishes to join into an executive session to get more context on the legality of it, we may, but I'm comfortable with and recommend its approval.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner Feinstein, what are your thoughts?
I read the communication sent out for us to review, and I would also be comfortable making a motion on this without going to executive session.
I feel much the same way. So let's forge on without going into executive session. Any questions or thoughts you might have, Commissioner?
No, sir.
Okay, none here either. The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-22A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2-C609, I move that we approve the new application submitted by Mr. Brian Crenshaw on behalf of the World Kickboxing Association for a 2025 amateur sanctioning organization registration.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. I'm going to second that motion. We now have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0. Congratulations, Mr. Crenshaw. Thank you for putting up with us. We got to cross our T's and dot our I's, but we're glad to have you aboard and looking forward to your events. Let us press on to C, our new business. C1 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-222A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2-C609, the renewal application submitted by Mr. Mark Lorenzo on behalf of the USA Wushu Kung Fu Federation, the WSAWKF, for a 2025 amateur sanctioning organization registration for the sanctioning of amateur Sanda contests. Mr. Vella.
Mr. Chairman, yes, I would like to make a recommendation that we approve this renewal. Financial investigation report came back positive. There's nothing that rose to a level of concern, and the organization presents a stable financial position, according to our investigator. And we've had great workings with them in the past, and I know that they have an event coming up this weekend, in fact. And so I wanted to make sure we held this meeting so that there was nothing that prevented them from sanctioning that event with the Phoenix Wushu group. So again, I recommend this approval and wish them the best in their upcoming event.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. And your experience with Mr. Lorenzo and his group has been good all the way through. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, we've had no issues, and we've gotten positive reviews from the promoters and stakeholders that he's worked with as well.
Okay, fantastic. Commissioner, thoughts, questions?
Just curious how many events you would expect to put on in the coming year, Mr. Lorenzo.
So as Mr. Vella stated, we have one coming up this weekend. So appreciate getting us in here. We have 2 more inquiries in, and I'm waiting to kind of see how they pan out. The good news is we're just getting a big buzz as we're trying to expand in general and be able to host more things. And you guys have really helped us kind of launch that. And so this specific event, it seems to be growing and gaining in momentum. So I should know something more in Q2, and hopefully we get some stuff towards the late summer, fall for a few events as well. But I'll keep you all posted as soon as I know something.
Thank you, sir.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may, just for the record, I'd like to indicate that the fact that an event was sanctioned and inadvertently the license wasn't active at the time is through no fault of Mr. Lorenzo's or the organization. They submitted their documentation and everything. They just hadn't realized that their license had expired because, as you know, we had transitioned from calendar year to 365-day year licensing, and that was done after September 14th of last year. And so it was just a mistake that, but again, they were not delinquent or anything.
Thank you. I appreciate you clarifying that. No, it's great to have Mr. Lorenzo and his group on board. I'm looking forward to these events, assuming you get a license. The chair be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-222A, 5-227B, and AAC R19-2-C609, I move that we renew the application submitted by Mr. Mark Lorenzo on behalf of the USA Wushu Kung Fu Federation for a 2025 Amateur Sanctioning Organization registration.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm going to second that motion. We now have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0. Congratulations, Mr. Lorenzo. Go get them. Appreciate your time.
We appreciate you too. Thank you.
Yep. Take care now. C2 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 38. The new license application submitted by Mr. Daniel Hilton for 2025 professional boxer license. Mr. Vella, will you speak to Mr. Hilton's application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Hilton has been licensed with us before in the past. He's 3-0 as a professional boxer. He's 38 years old, and he shared with me his training regimen, which I'll read for the record. His training sessions, he says, are normally 2 hours and with a 30-minute warm-up and stretch, and then an intense hour, and then a cool down. He said he usually trains 5 days a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, he goes to Phoenix to train with Dan Moret and some other guys, and usually spars on Tuesdays. He hasn't been grappling, mostly just boxing lately. And he says he's got an itch to get into grappling as well, too. And as you may recall, he in the past also competed in MMA. He says his other gyms, he spars on Thursdays. So if he's there instead of Phoenix, he spars that day. He runs 2 to 3 times a week, but only 2 miles. I do it more as a jog and calorie excuse me, more as a jog and calorie burner. And then he says he lifts weights lightly 3 days a week. He doesn't have any upcoming bouts currently, but he says that he feels prepared to compete because that's what he's always done. He trains hard with a lot of good guys, and he feels that he's always maturing as a fighter, learning how to use his nerves to his advantage. He says he's lost fights before to people that he was better than because he was nervous, but now that he's maturing, he feels that he's able to whittle that out. He says that he has experienced some injuries. Last year, he tore a tricep tendon and he had some bone spurs, but he's got it all fixed. He had, and he says he has a really small knee surgery and some other things that are all healed now. So again, I recommend his approval, as I've seen Mr. Hilton compete before, and I have no questions or comments other than that.
Perfect. Thank you. It's nice to hear Mr. Hilton seems like he's gotten things all dialed in, so I'm happy for him. Commissioner, any thoughts around Mr. Hilton's app?
Yeah, and I apologize if I missed it, but what is Mr. Hilton's record in professional boxing?
3-0. I apologize, Commissioner. I did misstate it as I was reading his detailed breakdown there. He said that he was nervous, but in his last 3 fights, he's been on another level and he's continuing to mature and so on. But he is 3-0 as a professional boxer.
Okay. No other questions for me.
Me neither. If there is a motion, state it, please.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604, for persons over the age of 38 years old, I move that we approve the new license application submitted by Mr. Daniel Hilton for a 2025 professional boxer license.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion, which I'm going to second. We now have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0. Congratulations, Mr. Hilton. That concludes our festivities just about. Item D is adjournment. Is there a motion for such?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
We have a motion, which I'm going to second. We now have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 2-0. We are officially adjourned. Thank you all for your time. Good things are brewing. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.